All right, testing everyone. All right, let's go. Let's go. All right, welcome to Daily Trades by Ren. Today is 7/15/2026, July 15th, 2026. Um, all right, let's see what we got going on today. We want to check to see if I'm live on all these other different platforms. Let me see. Am I live or do I have to press live? Ren. Next. 7/15/26. I should be live. Okay. Connect to streaming software. Well, go live. Okay, I'm not live on Instagram, but it says, okay, now go live. Boom. All right. I should be live on Instagram, but I'm not. Okay, I guess I don't know how to do it. Add link. This is stream key. How to copy the stream key, enter into the stream software. Go live once your streaming software connects and display. Okay, let's modify this. Copy, paste, Control A, Control V, copy, V. Okay, I should be live. Okay, I'm not live there. Okay, that's fine. Let's go to um, Facebook. Oh, I'm not live on Facebook. I have to press go live. There you go. Now I'm live on Facebook. Let's see. I'm live on um, am I live here? I should be live. Let's go to my channel. Upcoming. No. Oh, I am live. I'm live on. Okay, let's go to my website. Am I live on my website? I should be live. I'm not live on my website. Why not? Why is not I am live? All right, let's go to reason why I'm not live. Why is not I am live? All right, let's go to reason why I'm not. Why am I am live. Edit video. All right, let's go edit this live. Last time I was not live because not made for kids. That's the truth. Public show more. It's public. Anyone close. Interesting. All right, so I'm not live on Instagram. I can't go live. After you go live, when you go to school, streams over the best All right, whatever. All right, guys. Um, so let's go ahead and talk about my trades today. Um, yeah, so this is what I did today. Okay, so this is the 1 day, 1 minute candle, and this is what I did. As I took about 3 trades, I messed up really badly in the beginning, and I lost 22%. So that was like $40, right? I was able to make it all back and plus $8. Yesterday I was at 130, I think like 135, 36 or something like that. Now I'm at 144. So then I call it quits. I'm not gonna trade anymore today. We have about 1 hour left, just a little bit. Well, I get cut off at 12:45, so I got about uh, less than 1 hour. But the market closes at 1, so yeah. So basically, what I did was I just so I woke up at 7, right? So by 7 o'clock, it was like right here. You know what I mean? So it had a bullish rally going up, right? At 6:30, let's see if I can show you a 6:30. 6:30, all right? So they say when you know your 6:30 candle, right? If it was bullish, right? And the previous candle before that is you know is the same bullish, right? And then it goes above that previous candle, then most majority of things bullish, right? So you look at the graph, right? It it did bull and then it crashed, right? And then it bulled back up and then it crashed all the way down here, right? So I actually took an initial short position up here, right? But then it came back up here to this thing, so I started kind of worrying, right? So then I pulled out, and then I actually took a like $8 loss or something like that, or $6 loss, right? I was like, okay, so I don't know what's going on right now, right? And then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna uh, trust my instincts, right? And this is before me actually looking into my case studies or all these indicators or whatnot, right? I'm so used to seeing like, okay, well, it's stuck up here, right? And then by the time when I was deciding what to do, it was already down here, right? So then it kind of created this kind of like bearish sentiment going down already, in this direction, right? So I decided the market was going to be bearish from there on out. So I got a bunch. I got in a bunch. Maybe like what's that sound? I got into a bunch of I got into a bunch of position like around this area right here. You know what I mean? So like maybe so yeah, and I was back and forth too. I was like, is it bullish or is it bearish? And then by this point right here, right? So by this point right here, like you know what I mean, the transition right here. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna keep my game plan, right? Um, yeah. So I got, I think I got into like two put position. I mean, going long, right? Um, uh, yeah, I sold some put, so that means I'm going long again, right? So saying that, hey, it's not gonna go, and trying to get it to go up again, right? So then I was like, you know what? It's not reversing. I'm not sure it was reversing or not. It seems like it's about to reverse, right? So then I started looking at the accumulation, accumulating or accumulation distribution, accum, accumulate, whatever you call that, accumulation and distribution um, indicator. And then I was like, okay, yeah, okay. So we got this, you know, movement going downward, and then we got this movement going upward, right? So that's what we were watching yesterday, right? Let me try this line, right? So you got your sell off. See that? See how that trend is? It's crazy, right? And then for some weird reason, I noticed it kind of plateauing right here, from here to here, like from here to here. I noticed it was plateauing right here, right? And then I was like, you know what? And that yeah, this around this area when I was going trying to go long because I thought it was gonna reverse on me, right? And check this out, right? So this is what I learned with the A and D indicator, the accumulation distribution indicator. So basically, when it takes a bigger dip, it goes along the same path as the next thing, as the candlestick chart. And then I was like, oh dang, this is gonna be tough to look at. You know what I mean? But I realized that once I start seeing this, right? I was like, dude, like this is like a major drop, right? So as it's trying to reverse, it gave it a major drop. Boom. But now, so at the start of, so this is where I started getting my money, right? I decided to buy into the confirmation of. Well, actually, I gave my money like because I started to work my way down. So this little crash, I actually was able to pull everything back within $10. So I was like down $10 from here to here. From 40. So I was able to get $30 back from this the crash, right? Um, yeah. And so my last $10, I was able to lock. Well, actually, you know what? Probably about 10, 10 15 on this the major one right here. And then the last like 15 20, I was able to lock it in going up this way. I tried. You know what I mean? So I did two contracts going long on this side. That's how I was able to bring back my thing. But if you look, hey, now you're looking at it, right? So the A and D indicator, right? If you're looking at it now, and this is, I think we got to get used to it, right? Because I think the accumulation distribution indicator has a really profound functionality because it 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 does something when it reverses, right? But when it's not reversing, it goes back. It kind of mimics the same graph. But when it's reversing, it does something different, right? So like okay, so right here you have your like opposing slope, right? This going down, this going up, right? So let's say if it just went down at that angle the whole way through, all the way throughout the day, well, this is just continue to go up all the way, right? But then when it started to reverse and it took that dip, right? That's when it started going in the same direction, right? So actually, I'm gonna draw something real quick. Actually, this part, I'm assuming this part of the graph, the last the last slope, probably wouldn't be a good idea to enter if we're using the accumulation distribution indicator. So the A and D indicator right here, it's probably not a good idea to use that if we're trying to get in, right? Because it doesn't give you a good signal because it's kind of going the same direction, right? If you see something like this, right? Even though it was really hard to get in, I was able to get in like 3 or 4 times, right? Because I'm just like, well, it's just gonna keep on going down, just gonna keep on going down, right? And then when it got to this point, right? And then you're not sure when it's gonna reverse, you know what I mean? You might be able to. So okay, so when it started to reverse, right? It 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 kind of revealed something to me right here, right? I was really comfortable reversing with it after the reversal confirmation. So this seems like to me like more of a confirmation, right? Because we're already we're already kind of right here, right? Right there already. So that kind of confirmed to me, like, okay, if I pulled in right here, and actually I did, I went in twice right there, right? And I was able to get, you know, go back positive green on over here. So yeah, very powerful A and D indicator. But you gotta learn it somehow. I think I still gotta learn it, so I don't know. But yeah, that's what I did today. I was able to use the indicators to help me. And um, yeah, I believe in these studies because at the end of the day, they do help. You know, they help you read the chart, right? That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to read this chart. I mean, I look into the headlines. You know, I mean, there's a lot of um, just same thing. Feds trying to communicate with the market. You know, the people that's trading, and it's kind of rubbish to me because like I think the major quarterly reports already, you know, the June gloom was already kind of like set in already, and everyone's kind of like you know was able to carry the weight of that situation. And now, like unless there's like something major, I think we're kind of on our own, guys. But yeah, so that's what I did today. Um, yeah, price line looked pretty strong at 753. You know what I mean? You looking at it right now? It's right at the VWAP. It went below the VWAP um, first standard deviation line, or on the lower line, right? So I was riding that, and then went back all the way to the top of the the top of the positive standard deviation, right? And I was right back on the VWAP line. So um, I'm saying, I'm thinking like it's I don't think it's gonna transition or anything like that. If anything, or below it, I don't think it's gonna go below it. We're already the last hour already, so I could be wrong though. But usually last hour it's just gonna hang around, right? It's gonna sweep everything, all the contracts that's around that area, you know, between probably like 554 to 552. It's gonna sweep everything right there, and then we're gonna reset for tomorrow. But yeah, that's what happened today, guys. But yeah, every day's a new day. You know what I mean? So I was able to get positive again. Moving back towards my initial capital that I started off with, which is 170. Um, you know, I'm not gonna like lie to you guys. I did deposit here and there, but not enough to break my bank or anything like that. It was just trying to get in because I didn't have enough buying power. A few bucks here and there, but um, like I said, uh, I have about 2 shares of this contract right here. Not contract, but ETF, JEPI. Um, Basically, it's an index that kind of models the tech world. Just a little bit of everything. Um, I think it kind of models the S&P or SPY, right? But it's like a smaller SPY, which just means it's the valuation is a lot smaller. We're under like $100, like $60. So I was able to. Well, the last price was $56, right? So I was able to almost have 2 shares now. So and then yeah, and then the rest of my buying power is up there, waiting to trade. But I'm not trading for it anymore for the day. Yeah, guys. So from yesterday's trade to today's trade, it kind of stayed around the same area. You know what I mean? 54 to like well, 754 to 750. Not too much movement, and I just want to get on because I was trying to make sure I get on every day. I did. I should have been on earlier, but too many people around me. Uh, they're always having lunch and stuff. So I didn't bother. I want to bother anybody. Get on when I get on. But yeah, well, same time tomorrow. I mean, my schedule for getting on is probably like um, well, if you look at the event that I set up for my trades, I set up for 6:15 for Facebook, and then AM, and then YouTube the same 6:15 AM. So um, yeah, I was able to get on today after, way after. We didn't start until like 11. But anyways, um, yeah, I mean it's the same thing. I mean, I just kind of follow trends every day, and I do my daily trades. Right, I'm not holding anything overnight because I realize overnight the future trades is a lot different. Right, so next day it wouldn't be in the range anymore. You know what I mean? And then all of the contract, if you have overnight and it expires tomorrow, like you wouldn't, you'd be automatically in the money, but different range, right? And then you would lose a lot of value in your contract because of time decay. And so there's no point, you know, there's no point. But yeah, so yeah, I wouldn't. Okay, so I mean, so I'm learning as I go, right? So um, I, I have to make a mental note to myself, right? So last hour, don't trade because you're gonna trade in the money, right? And then you're just gonna be stuck, um, getting swept in your contract. It's probably at a loss. You know what I mean? So because they're just gonna sweep at the end of the day, last hour. So you don't want to trade last hour, right? So that's a mental note because I've done it before. I mean, I can do a spread that's like further away, and I know, like, let's say for example, right? No, it's outside the money, and I'm just gonna get a quick $20, right? The thing is, you don't know. You don't know it was gonna pump. It was gonna pump, right? And then since those contracts aren't what you call it discounted, right? And then it does go in the money, then you lost it. You know what I mean? Pretty much, you lose your contract. You know what I mean? So, well, you lose it to the value, right? So, but then let's say it, you got it for like $70, right? And you lost like you know you lost half of that. You know what I mean? Well, that's the majority of your money, right? Versus if you got something that's like um, discounted at 70%, right? And you only paid like $20. You know what I mean? That's like a stop loss, you know. So, but you got to be really good at like literally finding the bottom if you're gonna cut out the top. You know what I mean? If you want the whole pot, right? Because what you're doing is you're saying, hey, look, I'm gonna buy a contract for like say halfway, right? But I bought at the bottom, right? So this is where you get your discount, like 70% discount. Because if it's down here, it's telling you that it's never gonna go up here. So that's why they're giving you so much money to hang on to it, right? But you're already in the money. So then you're you know they're like, hey, we're just gonna take you $20. You know what I mean? Regardless. But so I'm not scared of that versus me taking something that's like, you know, up here, right? Risking to lose $70, but you know, hang on to a contract just to make $20, right? Because what happens is if the thing is right here, it's too close. You know what I mean? It's in like within the $1 value, so it'll just hit $1, and you know you're like SOL. You know, so yeah. But anyway, guys, that's it for me today. I hope you guys have a good rest of the day. Good luck with your future trades. You know, it starts right away, pretty much. Um, well, they said they take an hour maintenance break, right, and it does a full 24 hours. So, and then another hour maintenance break before it jumps to the day market. So, um, but yeah, all right. So thanks for joining me today, guys, on Daily Trades with Ren or by Ren. My name is Ren. Today is July 15th, 2026. All right. Have a good day.